Well, I'll start obviously by the pride we have in this rivalry game, and 59 to 7. Hadn't had the lead in since 1915, and we had talked about that all week, and we're really excited and proud that this is the first lead that we've had in this series since 1915, and so the respect for the rivalry is definitely alive and well in what we do. Now, that being said, I give those guys a lot of credit. For a team that didn't have their quarterback, was nicked up and dinged up a little bit. They came out, had a really good game plan, did a really good job. Obviously, got up 10-0, and our whole philosophy was to come out and start fast. And it kind of flipped the strip on us a bit. And I don't think we played our best ball, but we found a way. We found a way to feed off of each other. And I keep talking about that complementary football that's so critical, especially as a team grows. And when the defense wasn't doing quite as well and struggling a little bit in that first half, the offense really kind of honed in and flipped the energy and momentum, and especially that right before half we finally get a pick. And we go 90 some yards and score with 12 seconds to go. And I think that was the difference in the ball game. That that energy that created a little bit from the turnover. And then the drive there right before the half for the offense. I think that going into half, that gave us a little bit more, obviously, energy and momentum, but I think it also settled our guys in a little bit more. And I think we came out the second half. Didn't play clean. There's a lot of things we got to do a lot better. But I really do think we were in control and had a better grasp and a feel for what it is we were doing. I give them a lot of credit. It was a hard-fought battle. No, I think that's we're figuring out what us looks like, and I think there's us is a little bit more of a calm nature. I think offensively that's what Ben is. Where maybe last year, Dez would have been a little bit more vocal, a little bit more energetic, but I think the calm nature of him, I think, is a little bit more of maybe where we're headed towards, and it's kind of similar defensively. Last year you might have had some of those, Majay Sanders of the world, and even Kobe, who maybe were a much more emotional type of guy, where now we got a little bit more of the Jabaris and the Hickses and the Hubers that maybe are a little bit more cerebral. And I think that we are figuring that out and handling things in a different way. But I give them a lot of credit; they handled it really well today.
I know you haven't had time to look at the tape, but you said you're still figuring out what you guys are all about after seeing this game. How far away are you from where you want to be?
Well, we're nowhere close to where we want to be, that complementary football. I mean, we talk about it each and every week, and if you don't ask it here in a few questions, someone will ask it on Tuesday, and if they don't ask it on Tuesday at the press conference, they'll ask it on Tuesday at the radio show about playing cleaner and the penalties. It's an Achilles heel, and it is, some guys go in there later in the game and, they continue to happen, but there's where we've got to continue to grow. We're going to rely on a lot of those guys that are going to have to go in the game. And when they do, we've got to be able to be clicking. And so I think in the development of how we're doing, where in the past we felt good about 22 on both sides of the ball, when those guys and some of those guys go in there and we can't play clean, it's hard to, continue to use them. And I think down the road, to be a great football team, to play your best ball at the end of the year, those guys have got to be able to come on for us.
Having the ability to flip the field is so key, especially in a game like this. How big was Mason Fletcher's leg today?
He did a great job. I give him credit too on the punt return. That was the first. We've been so good in those pooch punts, and right there before half, we're pooching it in, and they don't call a fair catch, and every one of our guys are behind the returner, and so that's going to be one of those ones that's a really good learning opportunity for us. But I think in general, our confidence level and what he can do, and they brought 7 guys after him. They brought 6 to the front side. But where we're really good is when he has to get it off, he can get in a rhythm of 1-7, because that's what we do on a daily basis. And so it makes it really good on our part. He's done a phenomenal job. He's not rattled by the 7 or 8 guys that they tried to bring after him. And obviously the one coming out of the end zone that he hammered and rolled was huge. And obviously the tackle on that was big. Drew Donnelly kind of filling in and taking over that spot for Trey Tucker a little bit, is much as Trey's doing for us, to see a wideout that obviously can run like he can, but then can make the play down the field is where, I think we've been the difference.
Chuck, for 18 for 101, is he showing you kind of what you were looking for in terms of being a feature back?
Chuck did a great job. Obviously, there's one of those 18 that stands out in my mind that, we've always got to clean up. But, Chuck has done a really good job. And I didn't know he went for 101. I know that going into this, obviously they've done a great job at stopping the run. They've done a great job at loading the box and making it very difficult. And, I thought we had to be able to run the football, and I still think we've got to be able to run it better. But I think Chuck has kind of shown us that he can be a little bit more of the featured back. But he can't do it all by himself. And I think that's where, some of those things that are just kind of weighing on me a little bit. Okay, this us, who else is going to be that? Are we going to get Ryan back? Is Corey Kiner? Is Miles Montgomery? We got to have some of those guys that everybody trusts that we can get in there and win games with.
Ben started 12 for 12 after missing a couple that first week. Is this more of what you expected?
Yeah, I do. I think he does a really good job. He's done a great job at seeing the field. I think he does a really good job at taking what's there. I still think in some ways we're getting used to it. I don't know. Obviously, we had the tip for a turnover. That was the one pick he had, I think. And, those can happen. Obviously, he's a very aggressive, and he's throwing it in some tight windows. And we got to get used to that. I mean, our receivers are got to get used to that. And, but yes, I do feel like, we are a little bit different, and Ben's strengths are showing.
Did you guys do anything different with Mac Hippenhammer? Any strategy changes with him on that first drive compared to shutting him down the rest of the game?
No, it's just, we didn't play well, and I think they did a good job, and they gave him an opportunity to make plays, and he made them. And, it's not out of, a lack of respect, like, oh, you weren't prepared for him or whatever. But the reality is some of those balls that are going to go up, we call them 50-50 balls, and guys that are really good and good at it, they're not 50-50. He did a good job in the first half, and, I think we kind of honed in. Obviously, we picked this, kind of a very similar throw to his touchdown catch, but I think we picked that one off right there before half that led to the go-ahead first lead for us in the game. But kind of had a feeling that they were going to throw it at that. I think that's what we had seen from last week's game. But he's a good football player.
You mentioned Corey Kiner getting another touchdown today. How important is he to the development of your offense as you guys figure it out?
He's a big part of it. I don't know if he got a little bit something late in the game. He wasn't available, or I don't know whether we were worried about ball security. Those are some of those things I got to figure out. Because I'm looking around and Chuck's doing a great job, but it's a little bit more of a pounded situation, and kind of curious as to maybe why we didn't have him in there with a few more opportunities. I don't know if it was a little bit of the hamstring. I don't know if it was something else, but that's where we've got to develop the confidence, in some of those younger guys, and the only way we can do it is by putting them in there. It's kind of like the last couple series defensively. We, sometimes we get really greedy and don't sub out your guys, especially the back end guys. Front guys always roll, but we had to do it, and it's not always the most comfortable thing. But those guys, in order for them to develop, we're going to need them throughout the year. In order for them to develop, they got to go out there in some of those situations where they're still slinging the football and it's still a game. And that's another one of those spots. I think we did a good job of getting some of those guys. Probably didn't notice it, but some of those Amarion Smiths and J.Q. Hardaways and some of those guys that are really going to be big parts of us playing 22 guys played a lot more in some situations in the first half, but especially a little bit later in the second half.
Ivan played well again. How did you think you handled it from a emotional, mental point against him?
Ivan is unique. He doesn't show his emotions in a lot of different things, and I thought he did a good job. I didn't see. I was kind of worried. I didn't know if they would have his number or know how to get under his skin, and I could tell there was a mutual respect though, which was good on both sides. But we kind of moved him, and he played a little bit more as the middle backer today instead of the will linebacker. And I don't know if that's exactly where we stick and stuff like that, but I'm sure it was tough on him. We've been in this situation before with Michael Young and going back to Notre Dame, and I don't think any of those situations are really easy, but I think he handled it really well.
Either Scott and Trey Tucker both had over 100 yards today. Can you just elaborate on the performance that those guys had today?
Well, we need him. Trey was out. He only played the first quarter last week's game. Didn't practice a whole lot early in the week. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to go. He wasn't in the return game for us just because he'd been a little bit dinged up. So it was great to see him get back out there. He's a big part of it, and he was not maybe as part of much of the game plan, in some other, ways that we like to use him, maybe in jet sweeps and running the football, just because of the week that it had. But to see him come back out, on a short week for him and perform the way he did just shows you what a pro he is. And Tyler Scott's continuing to grow. The more we can get the ball in his hands, the better we're going to be. And whether it's in the field side flat where guys got to tackle him, whether it's guys having to respect him, I mean, he's a legit 10-4 guy that, is really developing into a really good wide receiver.
Any other questions for Coach? Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll have Tyler Scott and Trey Tucker next.
Thanks, Coach.
First time since 2016, two Cincinnati wide receivers had 100 yards receiving in a game. Questions for Tyler and Trey?
Obviously, the offense still has some progressions and some steps you guys want to take to improve, but having two guys like you all step up and have those big 100-yard games, is this kind of what you envisioned for this offense?
Definitely. I know me and him, like, even just going back to before we even came here, I think he was a freshman, and I was on my way in. He said, first two guys since 2016 or something like that with 100. We mentioned we wanted to make history. Let's team up together. Let's make history. We're part of it last year, and we're trying to continue to do that. So that's definitely something that we envision.
When you guys are going back and forth and you watching each other, see, and motivating each other, as you rack up yards.
Say that again.
Are you guys motivated when you see each other racking up yards to go and get yours and competitive a little bit?
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you see him going to work. Of course, like, you want yours, but at the same time, you see, how much he works and how much, we both work. We just root for each other, and then, we'll talk to each other, and, we got inside jokes and things of that nature, to kind of motivate each other, to make plays. But, it's definitely, it's a brotherhood. We grew up together, and, we just love playing with each other.
You're laughing. What joke did you have in your mind?
Oh no, it feels unreal. Basically, how you were saying, like, do we watch each other? Yeah, man, it feels unreal. Like, he's catching a touchdown, a post, and I'm just watching it happen. And then, like, like a few plays later, I look at him, I look out there, and like a joke pops in my head that, like we talk like that. Like, we'll literally be mid play and be like, we really out here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we out here together. Actually, I can recall last year, USF. I don't know, maybe they scored a touchdown or something. I don't know, but they had a really cool stadium feature. Like, their lights would turn off. I mean, obviously it's the Buck Stadium, but and I just remember us looking at each other like, bro, like, we really play with each other. Like, we're really out here. You know what I mean? So it doesn't feel real. Obviously, like, we grew up together. We're brothers. So it's definitely fun.
Trey, Coach mentioned you got banged up a little bit last week. What were you dealing with, and how did it feel out there? It was weird. Basically, so I had like a PCL. It's the back of your knee. I fell weird, and it's basically like instability in your knee, kind of. So, I wanted to play, obviously, last week, but, I after, going back out there and it's just not feeling right, I just kind of stopped. And, during this whole week, it was never a doubt in my mind that I can't miss this game. It's my last one, for the bell. So whatever it took to get back out there today, I was going to do, whether I was limited, play a few snaps here and there, all the rehab, all the time I spent in the training room this week. And obviously I'm going to continue to do that.
Tyler Ben completed his first 12 passes. Did you guys as an offense feel like he was in a rhythm there?
Oh, definitely. No, definitely. You could definitely tell from the beginning, like, we had a rhythm. They couldn't guard us. That's kind of been the mantra this whole, since game one. It's like we can't be guarded. Anytime we fall short, it's because we're shooting ourselves in the foot. But you could definitely feel the rhythm out there. Especially with him and just even the whole offense, you could feel it.
Describe your touchdown.
Yeah. So, they came out and they've been playing the post. You know, the past 2 games, Kennesaw, they kind of play similar to Kennesaw where nobody wants to get beat deep. You know, so I've been seeing a lot of coverage where guys are bailing off and they're really just getting on the hash, just really trying to protect the post. And you know, we didn't really throw it until we called it. You know, hopefully to catch him in the right coverage. The guy played it perfect. You know, he expected it. He paid it perfectly, but seen the ball in the air, and I got to make 6 great, so made a play.
What's the key to having success on that far field side?
I think out there you get a lot more off coverage. And so the biggest thing to me when I, personally, like just being reliable. You're going to have a lot of hitch routes and speed routes and things of that nature, and you're going to be able to stretch the field. So really just being a reliable target, being called on, you're going to be called on for third downs, run some of, third and long, really run some of those bigger, longer routes and things of that nature. So just really being a reliable target, and just expecting the ball. So.
What's the reliable target? 8 catches on 8 targets for you. Just talk about what you're seeing from that defense today.
Like I said before, like they were just bailing. A lot. Even I could hear the coaches on the sideline just saying, watch the post. They're players. They're safeties and Sam backers. Watch the post. Don't get beat by the post. And so, with that, a lot of the underneath game, as far as just some of those out routes and things of that nature, just kind of pop open. And so just being ready, if they want to take away something, they can't take away everything. So just having a counterpart or a counterpiece for some of those deep shots, just really keeping them on their toes.
What's the celebration look like when you get back to the room? Crack open a new candle, or
probably just lay there, lay on the bed and just think about the game, things I did well, things I didn't do well. Later for a little bit. And, probably hop on my phone for a little bit and kick up. Not too much.
how do you keep up with that? Crazy.
He's his own person. What he does and what I do, we're 2 separate guys, so we're just going to keep it that way.
So this is a road trip for you guys. Did you guys stay in your own quarters back home, or how'd you do this today?
Oh, no. We basically did the same thing we would do technically on the home game. So we stayed in the hotel that we were staying in the home game. Obviously, we wore the away jerseys, but everything about it, pretty much felt like a home game. Obviously, like I said, we were in the away jerseys, but, yeah, we didn't really change much there.
And then exciting knowing that a lot of your former buddies and teammates are going to be playing down here, and here you guys are doing the same.
Right, yeah.
That'd be exciting and give you a little extra boost.
Definitely, for sure. I remember we walked out of the tunnel, and a few of the players were saying, like they played Madden, so they were like, oh, I've used this. I played in this stadium a bunch on Madden, so, but yeah, basically.
Trey, what's it like to you guys lose an over-the-top threat like Alec and then replace him with Nick who can do things like he did?
Man, when people ask me about Nick, I tell you, obviously he's a freak. He really is. Just to be that tall and to be, able to bend like that and be athletic, man, it's just crazy watching him how much better he's getting every week. And he's already really good, you know what I mean? So him, replacing Alec, he's obviously pretty taller than Alec, you know what I mean? Speed-wise, Duke can run, I remember in the summer we were running and he was moving up groups really fast. I started getting nervous a little bit, all right, Nick Marner's coming. But yeah, he's a great addition, and I'm glad we got him. And it's working out perfectly for us.
Appreciate it.
Congrats.
We'll do Ivan Pace Jr. and Will Huber. Questions?
How'd that feel? Was it emotional? What was going through your mind through all that?
It definitely was emotional because that's my old team, and it's just I've been practicing with them for 3 years and came over here, and it was pretty hard playing against them because I know what they can do and they know what I can do. So every talent that they got and I got, it was fighting for it.
Did you feel like you had some insight, or did they do anything to maybe try and throw you off, change up some signals or something?
Yeah, they definitely changed up some signals on me. I looked to the sideline a couple times just to see if I could see something, but they changed it a little bit, but they was out there doing their thing.
Will, Coach mentioned that Ivan was playing middle for a little bit. Are you guys moving around? How are you kind of handling interchange between that weak side and middle linebacker?
Yeah, we just felt like Ivan had a good chance to make a lot of plays at the middle linebacker spot this week. So we made that switch, and it obviously worked out well for both of us and for the team as a whole.
You were playing Will last
Yeah, I have rotated both spots since I switched over to linebacker, so it was I was confident playing both spots.
Ivan, you're on like every play. What's your mentality out there on the field?
My mentality out there on the field is just to do what I can do because everybody think I'm too short and stuff, but I'm really explosive and fast, so I got to do what I got to do to get recruited or whatever.
You had a little flex on the tackle for loss there. Can you describe that?
Yeah, but I just really felt good that I'm out there making plays for Cincinnati.
Working with Brady, you've changed your body quite a bit since you got here. Can you noticeably tell you're quicker, more explosive?
Definitely I can because I was actually 260 when I came in. Now I'm only 230. He definitely changed my body a lot. But just sitting there working and doing my thing.
Did you remind Ben at all this week that you picked him off?
Yeah, I actually did. I was like, it was funny because we was in the game at Eastern Michigan, Miami, and it was just, I said, they out there, they'll come for you too, like they was. But it's a good thing that I'm on his team now.
Well, there was a tackle you were in on earlier in the game, I believe first half, and Ivan actually carried you to make the tackle. Do you guys remember that play? Were there any words that would happen after that play?
No, but it doesn't surprise me that Ivan was right there on my tackle because he's just about everywhere. So I'm glad he's on our side, that's for sure.
That's led Miami to around 2 yards per carry today. What was working so well for the rush defense?
I think going into the week, we made a really big emphasis on just being physical up front. The front 5, 7 guys up there, their job is to stop the run. And that was a big emphasis going into the week. And I think we did a really good job of, executing what we needed to do. And obviously it worked out in our favor.
Ivan, you've been on both sides of this. What does the bell really mean in this rivalry?
It's just respect. That's what it means. Everybody trying to give respect to the bell.
How is it different being on the Cincinnati side of this rivalry as opposed to Miami side in today's game?
It's really not that much difference because we both trying to fight for what is ours. Well, when I was in Miami and now I'm on Cincinnati. But we just trying to fight for what's ours. And when I was in Miami, trying to earn it back. Now just keeping it at Cincinnati.
Emotionally, what was it like for you getting a win on a stadium that you grew up watching?
It was actually really good because I always wanted to come down here. I always went to like the little mini football camps down here. It's just good to see I can play in this stadium too.
Will, was there anything they did unexpected on that opening drive, or was just them executing well?
I think they came out and executed really well. But obviously, they did score, so there was some stuff on our part that we didn't do well. And I think, we made really good adjustments going on into the, later the first quarter and especially in the second half. I think we just need to come out, flying in the first quarter, flying on that first drive, because, that's really what we do. We got to, apply pressure at all points of the game and not just in the second half. So that's something that we need to continue to work on.
Will, I know we talked to you after Arkansas about your relationship playing alongside Ivan. Ivan, could you just walk us through what your relationship is like with Will playing in that linebacker room?
Will, he was just like Ryan McWood. He was just like there when I was there for me when I needed him. And now I came to Cincinnati and I actually found Yubi that was just the same. So it's not that much different, but it's just on Cincinnati. I don't know.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
We'll do Ben Bryant next.
Thank you, guys.
Questions for Ben?
12 to 12 to start. Did you feel like you were in a great rhythm as soon as you got out there?
Yeah, I felt good. I think that the receivers were getting open. O-line was protecting well, and I think it was a good start to the game.
Did you see a lot of the same looks that you saw against Miami last year, or did they play differently against you?
Similar and different. There's some things are the same, some things are different. Every week you get kind of surprised with some things, and you got to adjust. But yeah, I think we executed well, and there's definitely a lot of things we got to clean up. the turnovers and stuff like that. But it's a good win.
This is the first time since 2016 two different wide receivers had over 100 yards. When you're out there, how are you deciding? I'm assuming that's not in your head, but when you're distributing the ball, is one motivating against the other?
No, I mean, I don't play favorites. I tell those guys all the time, I'm like, I'm going to throw to whoever's open. And thankfully they aren't greedy and complain about not getting the ball. But it's a really good group to work with, and I'm really happy that those are my guys that I throw to. What makes Tyler such a great weapon on that field set?
Tyler's a mechanic. He's always working his releases. He's always getting open. I know if I get him the ball, he's going to make someone miss and get yards after catch. He's a really good player.
How much of a benefit is it to have a 6'6" guy that you can just throw it up and he'll go get it?
Yeah, I mean, that play I had to decide, Wiley or Nick. They both had fades, and I told Wiley I'd get him next time. But I had to work Nick. He had all that space out there to the field, so I thought that was the right decision.
Did you think the throw to Tucker was good a couple plays earlier? What they reviewed and called no touchdown.
Oh, yeah. I got kind of greedy on that. I could have came down and threw it to the flat, but yeah. Did he catch it or he caught it?
They said no, it kind of came down.
Oh, really? I couldn't really tell.
Did you think you were going to go back to Nick after that first incompletion, and then you had that opportunity in that back corner of the end zone?
Did Nick drop a pass?
Nick was your first incompletion on the fade to the.
Oh yeah. No, I don't worry about that stuff. Like even when Jaden had that fumble, I was like, I'm gonna keep coming back to you. Like, I don't worry about that stuff. We all have trust in each other, and we're just ready to keep making plays.
How comfortable do you feel behind that offensive line right now? I felt like they gave you a lot of time to work today.
Yeah, no, really comfortable. Those guys did such a good job, and they're going to continue to do that. Sometimes in the beginning of the game, I was like, this feels like 7-on-7. Like I'm just sitting back there, like just throwing the ball, and I'm really happy I got those guys up front.
Talk about how Gavin stepped in. Now that you had 2 weeks under your belt with him under center, just what it's been like for you.
Yeah, Gavin's done a tremendous job. Obviously, he got a lot of reps at center throughout the spring and fall camp, and everyone has a lot of confidence in him, and he's a really good player for us, and he's going to continue to do that.
Nice not to have Ivan on the other side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I took some shots from Ivan last year, and it was nice seeing the other guys on the other team take those hits instead of me.
Your first time playing in this rivalry, what does it mean to get a win?
I mean, I did play against them before when I was at Cincy. I got in a little bit, but yeah, starting is my first time. It feels really good. I mean, this rivalry was tied before today, and we broke that tie, and Coach Fick has stressed all week about how we need to respect the rivalry and take this very seriously, and I think we did a good job today at doing that.
I feel like your consistency has gotten better and better each week, and then on top of that, what are you trying to add as you go forward, looking at IU and looking at the conference coming up?
I think it has. I think as the season goes on, you kind of develop that chemistry with your guys and gain that confidence. And I think that we've done that, and we got to continue to do that throughout the season. And we got to play our best ball at the end of the year. That's what Coach Fick always says. And we're just going to continue to get better.
Is this a good birthday present to yourself?
Yeah. Yep. It's always fun to win.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, Ben.